Hey there, I am back with a deck preview for Godzilla Kong, the New Empire from Room 1. In 1933, moviegoers were introduced to King Kong. On a hidden island off the coast of Indonesia, shrouded in mist, the colossal ape ruled his primeval domain. But lured away from home by a greedy filmmaker, Kong would find himself a magnificent beast out of place in the towering jungles of New York City. His story would become a tragic one, a clash between untamed nature and the encroaching human world. Meanwhile, Godzilla first stomped onto the scene in 1954, a terrifying consequence of nuclear war. Rising from the depths of the Pacific, this prehistoric leviathan became a symbol of Japan's anxieties in the atomic age. Yet, Godzilla wasn't always a mindless destroyer. He often emerged as a protector, a force of nature reminding humanity of its ultimate responsibility. Over the decades, these titans have gone through a number of iterations and have captured the imagination of audiences everywhere, each of them representing a different kind of monster. Godzilla, a force of nature, both destructive and protective, and King Kong, a majestic creature displaced and misunderstood. In the latest movie of the MonsterVerse franchise, these icons actually join forces to take on a common enemy and new threats to the world. But we're here to check out the officially licensed playing cards that are funding on Kickstarter now to go with the March release of Godzilla Kong, the New Empire. Now, these come from Room 1, who burst onto the playing card scene just last year, capturing the Deck of the Year, Rookie of the Year honors for their first deck, Oppenheimer. They've been very busy since, have a number of decks to their name, and their latest with a sci-fi twist has me really excited. I'm a big fan of the sci-fi themes, and there's few as iconic as Godzilla and King Kong when it comes to sci-fi. So let's get into it and check these out. And just as a reminder, these are prototype decks that are funding on Kickstarter now. So if you like what you see here, make sure to check out the link in the description, consider backing the campaign for yourself. And as these are prototypes, can expect a few improvements as we get to the final version. But these should give you a pretty good idea of what to expect with the campaign. There's actually 4 different versions of the deck. This is the special edition King Kong version of the deck. There's of course a special edition Godzilla to go with it. And then I also have one of the standard edition decks to check out as well. This is the Godzilla version of the standard deck. We'll get a chance to look at both of them, but let's start off with the King Kong special edition deck. All right, so this one is done on a really special tuck case, and you can see right off what makes this one so unique. It's much thicker than normal, and that's to give space for this beautiful 3D cutout right in the center. The multiple layers of cutouts there give you a nice intricate detail with the image of the ape crashing his way through the jungle. Love the effect that the layers create. And as we open up the tuck box, you'll see exactly how this layer effect is created. But it gives a really cool extra depth to the tuck box. Seen it on a few other decks before, and I personally really love the effect. It just gives a really interesting touch to it overall. Finishing out the front of the tuck box, you get just some nice bronze colored foiling and embossing on this one with the name of the deck, Godzilla Kong, the New Empire, and then Room 1 Presents. On the sides, once again, Godzilla Kong playing cards done with a little touch of silver foil there on those side panels. And then on the bottom, you get just your ad copy for Godzilla Kong and of course, Room 1 Presents. Top there just has the name of the deck again. Once again, Godzilla Kong, the New Empire by Room 1 Presents. And the back has a little preview of the back design of the cards, complete with that little touch of gold foil with a shining gauntlet there. It includes a little cutout here, the circular cutout in the center. Bit of an odd one to me. I don't think it really adds too much to it just because it's showing the back design of the cards, which is what the design is on the back of the tuck box anyway. So it's just an extra little cutout that, I don't know, maybe you find it interesting. For me, it doesn't add a whole ton to this one. But as you open it up, you get the little emblem there with the bronze foil, those kind of oversized flaps. And as you get a peek inside, you can see just why this one is so thick. So let's pull out these cards here, get these out of the way. We'll get back to those in a second and check out the inside here. So you do get some nice foiling there, the silver foiling with the image of King Kong repeated all the way through. And then you pull out this accordion folded piece of paper here. And this is what creates that 3D layer effect. So you can see here, as you unfold the accordion, you can see each one of the individual layers cut out. And then as you fold it back together, that's what gives you that beautiful 3D effect. So kind of a cool, simple, but unique little element that gives this deck its extra, I don't know, special little touch to it. Anyway, there's the tuck box for the Godzilla Kong cards, but let's check out the deck itself. And we'll start with the back design. So it's mostly done in black and white, has the image and the triangle here of King Kong roaring triumphantly, and he's raising that gold glove over his hand. That gauntlet actually plays a role in the latest movie. I haven't seen the latest movie, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I do know that that gauntlet is something that gives him a little bit of extra power during the movie. The rest of it definitely kind of reminiscent of like, I don't know, 1970s nuclear warnings or something like that. You get the danger in the background, all these arrows and emblems that give you, I don't know, kind of thinking like safety manual warnings from the 1970s or something like that. For me, a little bit busy. I would have preferred maybe a little bit more color on Kong and a little bit less wordiness, but still kind of a cool design that's evocative of that sort of retro future style that they were going for. Finishes out with the thin white poker border. Love that the border is kind of broken up slightly rather than it being a harsh border all the way through. And matching with that gold foil on this one, this deck also includes beautiful gold gilding. This is only on the special edition of the deck. So the Godzilla version has the gold gilding, and then there's the King Kong version has gold gilding, and the Godzilla version features purple gilding. So you get gilding on both versions of the special edition deck. Cool that they did it on the prototype as well. So there's your back design, and then we get onto the faces. So pretty much the same image that we saw on the back design of the cards, we see repeated here on the first of the Joker, that roaring King Kong raising the gauntlet above his head. Pretty simple design, just done in black and white, and then Joker in the corners. And then his companion is on the other Joker with Godzilla stomping his way out of that red triangle there in the center. Love the image of Godzilla. Again, would have liked a little bit more color, but they definitely kept this one more of a monochrome style deck. So you get the black and the red Jokers with, of course, Godzilla and Kong featured. Ace of Spades, the power ace on this one, and features the first of our 4 characters. So each one of the suits is going to represent one of the characters. And of course, the spades here are King Kong. So you see Kong labeled here and a little silhouette of him in that oversized spade pip there in the middle. Pretty simple pip and index in the corner. Nothing too special there. As you go through the number cards, they feature fairly standard pips. A little detail I like. One of the spade pips on each one features that silhouette of Kong there. The other two just kind of have a speckled effect. I've always liked the idea of doing the single pip in a different style than the rest of them. I think it just adds a little extra fun touch to the cards. But otherwise, pretty standard looking number cards. And then the court cards feature Kong again in 3 different poses. So not different characters on this one, just 3 different images of Kong. One of them with him roaring there, kind of pounding his chest. The other one of him holding, I guess it's a tomahawk of some sort. And then the other one with that gauntlet that we talked about a couple of times. All done in kind of black and white kind of look to them. I don't know, kind of a comic book style. Fun look to them overall. Again, would have liked some color on these, but the black and white looks pretty cool too. So that's your spades featuring King Kong. And then we move to the hearts. And so you can't have Kong in this movie without Godzilla. And so Godzilla makes his appearance as the heart feature here. Godzilla labeled on there. All done in red this time. Once again, you get those silhouettes on the number cards with Godzilla making an appearance on one of the pips. And you get the trio of courts that feature Godzilla in different poses. These look a little bit more similar. I guess Godzilla is not able to hold the weapons or anything like that the way that King Kong can, but still kind of a fun roaring look with those spikes on the back. Very cool look to it. All right, and then if you haven't seen the movie, and I'm not going to give any spoilers away if I can, but the clubs and the diamonds represent the sort of bad guys in here. And so this is Shimo. Shimo's Godzilla-like, a reptilian creature, one of the bad guys in the movie, and she's actually controlled by the ultimate bad guy in the movie by virtue of a crystal or something like that. But Shimo has ice powers and is trying to bring about a new ice age with her powers in the world. So there's Shimo featured as the silhouette on the clubs, and a better look at Shimo as we get to the 3 courts. So sort of a counterpart to Godzilla in the movie, Shimo serves as like one of the main antagonists. But the primary antagonist is featured here on the diamond. So we had the counterpart to Godzilla as Shimo. Well, the counterpart to King Kong is the Scar King. So the Scar King rules over the subterranean hollow earth where he was trapped for many years, but manages to escape in this movie and serves as the ultimate antagonist within the movie. Scar King's kind of a primate of his own. And so you can see kind of a long, lanky look to him on this one. And here he is in a little bit more detail as you get into the court cards. So very sort of dark, foreboding look to him there. And love the the bones of the snake there kind of slung over his shoulder. And then last card here, just an extra card that you get with the deck, that extra 6 of spades. I guess you could use that as a gaff card or something like that. And that is the deck. Now, just to give you an idea of the differences as you get into the Godzilla deck, we do have a quick look here at the standard version of the Godzilla deck. A bit plainer, I guess, but still has some kind of unique touches to it. It is thinner because it doesn't have that 3D cutout effect, but it does feature some really nicely done foiling and embossing. Multiple colors of the foil here, that bright electric blue, the silver here for the main outline, and then even that simple glowing red eye. Love the little touch of the red eye. Just gives you that extra tiny pop of color on this one. Very cool kind of comic book style on this one. I think the final version of the deck is going to have a slightly darker black, which I think will help this pop even more. But it kind of wraps around to the sides of the box, and then on the back you get a little preview of that back design, this time with glowing pink spikes on Godzilla's back there. The pink there is actually a symbol of Godzilla unlocking a new color of power in the latest movie. Usually glowed blue, but now glows pink. So there's your interior. You do get some nice blue interior foiling on this one, this time featuring Godzilla repeated all the way through. And as you get into the cards, because this is the standard version of the deck, this one doesn't feature the foiling and the gilding that we saw on the special edition of the deck. So this one just has regular sides and has kind of a more metallic colored ink rather than the pops of foil that we saw on the other one. But these, for the Godzilla version, are black cards and then feature little hits of the pink there. Again, those pink spikes on Godzilla's back, representing part of his story throughout this one. But otherwise, very similar design overall, just featuring Godzilla, obviously, instead of King Kong. And the cards themselves with the black faces give kind of a more sinister, darker look, in my opinion. That red in particular, really kind of an aggressive look against that black background. Usually not a massive fan of black cards just because you can get some kind of chipping around the edges as you use them, but does give a really nice impact right out of the box. Otherwise, the rest of the cards are pretty similar to what we saw before, other than the colors change. For me, I think the black cards, look really nice. Kind of a darker, more sinister look that I think works really well. The suits are changed around a little bit. So because this is the Godzilla deck, Godzilla becomes the feature on the spades, while King Kong is on the hearts, which is reversed on the King Kong decks. But otherwise, pretty much the same artwork that we'll see all the way through this one. Same drawings and things like that that are used, just sort of inverted colors and suits. So there's your clubs with Scar King, and then finally into the diamonds with Shimo. So just reversing the characters in the 4 different suits, but otherwise pretty much the same. So that is the look at the standard version of the deck and taking a look at Godzilla. And that is it. Those are the couple of versions of the deck that I got a chance to check out with the prototypes. I think overall a pretty cool, fun little set. Definitely a few things that I might have tweaked, maybe adding a little bit more color or something like that. And can't wait to see their finalized boxes where I think they're going to amp up the color contrast on these to give it a little bit more pop. But overall, a fun deck, especially if you're a fan of Godzilla or King Kong, those sort of monster styles. Great movies overall, and really cool to see a nicely fully done deck that's not just a regular souvenir style deck to go with them. So kudos to Room 1, and personally really excited to finally see the movie for myself. I hope you enjoyed this look at Godzilla Kong, the New Empire. Make sure to check out the link in the description if you're interested in considering backing the campaign for yourself. It's going on for a few more days. Hope you enjoyed, and make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews, more unboxings. Let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you for the next one.